is it really that hard to sell your business? Like I mean, so if you know the valuation somehow, is it really, do you really need a broker, an advisor to sell your business? Is it really that hard?
Yeah, it is. Like all we do, all I've done for almost a decade is sell businesses, and we track a lot of data around here. And so when I look at like I have staff that helps me, we work together as a team on deals. When I look at how many deals we're running and how much time are we working, and I do back into the math of like how many hours per deal do we spend with our payroll, with our staff. It's 400 to 800 hours on average. So like the biggest thing I would tell sellers is to do this right. It's a full-time job. And so like most sellers are already working 5 full-time jobs trying to spin all the plates they need to running a business. And learning and doing all the things you need to learn and do to properly sell your business is another full-time job. And so that's why I think it's worth hiring a professional that can give it their full attention, quarterbacking your deal and bringing their team behind you to help, is because first off, it's time consuming. Secondly, this is the hardest one to express to sellers, but everyone acts like they're not emotional, but everyone's emotional. And selling a business is one of the most emotional things most sellers will ever do in their life. I mean, it's extremely difficult. A lot of people have their, it's they say, "Well, my blood, sweat, and tears are into this thing," and they say those words because it essentially means like part of my identity is wrapped up in this thing. And then the second you have people on the other side of the table and they're smart ass CPA or land or or somebody pops off about how your stuff isn't worth what you think it is or whatever, it starts to feel like a personal attack. You get defensive, you dig in, you dig your heels in, and your deal is going to blow up over something silly because you're too close to it emotionally. And having a professional broker that's paid to do deals for a living that can anticipate those problems, soften those blows, come up with creative solutions to solve those when people start to dig in their heels over various parts of the negotiation, it maximizes the odds of success. When you try to DIY this and you don't know how to solve problems 100 different ways that a professional deal maker does, and you're too emotional to it, even if you find a buyer you like and they make an offer you like, you have probably a 70 to 80% chance of not closing because something's going to derail your deal between LOI and closing, and you're not going to be able to save it. And you're going to have spent hundreds of hours, months of your life, and a whole lot of emotional energy for a deal that didn't happen. And then you might end up with like a business even less valuable if that caused you to take your eye off the ball, because you were so focused on trying to close that deal that you weren't able to keep your business running at the proper level. And so I think the best way to go about it is generally to keep running your company, keep growing your company, because that's going to keep that growth curve going, which is going to maximize your value. Let a pro handle the deal negotiation and marketing and filtering of candidates on your behalf. And that you just staying fully focused on running your business is going to create a deal that's worth substantially more than the broker costs. And the broker is going to do a better job at getting a competitive environment going with multiple buyers, negotiating well, not being as emotionally attached to it, and be able to drive the best deal at the same time. So it's really like a cooperative process. You keep running your business, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. Let us run your deal, and we'll rope you into the right meetings because you do have to meet these buyers at some point, and they have to like and trust you, and we'll facilitate that part. But everything else, all the heavy lifting of this, you're going to have a pro team that knows what they're doing, helping you along the way.